cut you off.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's it. I don't want to
Turn
run.
your camera back straight up. Oh no, you good. Leave it like that.
Yeah, my
Hey,
bad,
hey, what's
Patrice.
up, man?
That's okay.
Hey y'all.
Welcome,
Hey, good
welcome, man.
morning.
This is the most bootleg shit we ever did, man. But I appreciate you still, man. I appreciate you so much for real. Like for
Hey, this is in the spirit of the freedom fighters, the original.
No bullshit.
the original freedom fighters with their iPhones. That's right. Nah, but
was alive, that's how she would have got it done.
right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Definitely. So I'm gonna stop our show real quick to do a little intro because I'm so glad that you joined us, man. I guess everybody can see who it is, but I always say that in times of uncertainty and civil unrest, that comedians are the ones who truly get us through. I always always say that comedians, I always like to have comedians, on in times like this because not only is laughter the best medicine, but because they are keen observers of the human condition and their unique perspective can be progressive, insightful, and comforting. So, with that being said, Dave Chappelle said our guest is a DC comedy legend. You've seen him on Comic View, you've seen him on Def Jam, you've seen him on Rap City, yeah, and you heard him this morning on PGC doing this thing, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Clair is with us. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. I had to do my official intro. Yeah, man. So I definitely want to get into all the stuff that I talked about and just your longevity, because being around the industry, you see people come and go, but you've been here, and so we definitely want to talk about that. But right now we were talking about uh, Jay has moved you away, but right now we were talking about
Oh, my bad,
a
bad,
lot of the
Joe.
stuff that's going on. Yeah, so you don't have to hold it. Get the yeah.
Yeah, I'm
There
just
you
trying to
go.
make it easier
All
for me.
right. So yeah, but right now we were talking about all the stuff that's going on, and I know you've been talking about it all morning on your show. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to. I was getting everybody's perspective on the rioting and the looting and the protests and things going on. Like, what's your take on everything? Just watching it.
First of all, thanks for having me. You said something real. In these times of civil unrest, the comedians get us through. But what if he a mad ass comedian?
Right.
What if he feel like, man, fuck that funny shit?
right. Right. So is that where you at?
Here's how I feel, man. I'm a black man in America. I was born into a system that introduced stress and struggle to me. By the time I was a toddler, I understood stress. I understood struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood it from a societal point of view.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like all of you on this call, by the time y'all were toddlers, you understood. You might not be able to actually say the words, but you had an extra amount of stress and struggle already added to you.
Definitely.
Right? Studies have shown when they studied the psychology of children in America, studies have shown over and over and over again that children of color, just have these things put on them, and around the globe, anytime you do a study or look into the lives of children who are born into the oppressed part of any culture or any society, they always got more stress and everything else. So I've been like this,
Okay.
and I've been feeling this since I was full.
Right.
They think we just started being mad when we was 29, man. I couldn't even go to my prayer practice. This go all the way back to applesauce, man.
Right.
They were my tricycle. If I was standing with my white counterpart and we both had to talk lovingly of our tricycle days, mine got a little more Tupac in it.
That's real.
Simply, that's simply by virtue of being born black. And I was born black to two college-educated professional black people. It was still stressed the fuck out.
Right. That's the bottom line, man.
Now, as a grown man at 50, and I actually got a chance to speak to Jesse Jackson this morning, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, awesome.
I spoke with Jesse Jackson this morning,
Well, so
and he was stressed
why is that such an exciting feat, Joe Clair?
because Jesse Jackson has been in this fight all of his adult life, right? Whether we love him or not, he's been in this fight his entire adult life, and he's put himself on the front line again and again. Sometimes it was for money. I ain't gonna front. You know, sometimes Jesse Jackson was getting that check, but he wasn't getting no check when he was on the balcony with Martin Luther King.
He absolutely got a check.
Not that day.
Okay.
Not that day.
He got a big check for that.
Well, you know, down the line, I'll give you that.
Oh, I know. That's why I ain't even gonna argue. I'm like, okay, I'll
you know, Jay is the resident conspiracy theorist, so he got a lot of
The resident though.
Hey, and guess what? You know, am I the biggest Jesse Jackson fan? Nah. But am I prepared to do the work that Jesse Jackson did for us? Nah.
Right.
Yeah, me either. I ain't prepared to do that work either. I got real work to do, bruh.
But
So anyway, I spoke to him today, and he was stressed out. It's like when he was talking to me, it's like he was smoking Newport.
right.
It's like, I said, so Rev Jackson, you know, what's your take on this? He said, hold on a second.
He blew the smoke out.
You know, and then he went to I swear I could have heard the sound of it. And then he went into the Jesse Jackson thing. So we all under, you know, some stress. Yes, I am a comedian. I can look at this through comedic eyes.
Right.
Parts of it, I can see the light in it. I can bring some levity to the situation. But when it gets to the point where there's really no levity left to be had, I get just as mad as everybody else, man.
Right.
And I feel it just like everybody else does. And I'm trying to, you know, usher and soldier my kids through this, and my wife down through this. Now, if I may, I am married to a very black You understand me? It's not her skin tone, it's her soul. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, the
Yeah.
fifth.
Talk about it. It's a
My
difference.
wife is from West Baltimore, right? But she also has an MBA.
Mm.
So like I'm married Thelma Evans. I'm married the one who was trying to do it right?
Yeah.
And so when it gets like this, if she ain't right, ain't none of us gonna be right.
Right.
Therefore, I gotta stay right the whole time. Even though all of it's on my shoulders, the city on my shoulders, the wife and kids, I'm taking care of my aging mother. So I be mad too. But take a deep breath. I don't know if you got to see my moment of clarity this morning. It was all about being grateful for this life, being grateful for this time, and count my blessings first. Count my blessings first before I go back out here and fight.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm gonna ask you real quick. Well, I'm gonna go back real quick to something you mentioned, your kids, and when you came on, I was just talking to Patrice, our female host, about she has a teenage son, and I know Jay has younger kids, and so trying to make sense of this to children. What kind of conversations are you having with your kids about this, or are you talking to them about it?
Well,
I saw the post with your son. I saw the post with you and your son.
So like I said, I got real black, white, and we got some real black kids. So my kids was like, when we going down there and roll on these pigs, Daddy? I'm like, no. Son, you live in Bowie. Hold on, man.
You never bully.
You can't go into the city and start messing up their neighborhoods. Hold up.
Right.
You ready to go to Northwest and say, I said, nah, them other time niggas will handle your lunch. our children. We never had. You know, I use a dad's tone when I speak to them about racial issues, so they understand from my tone and from my body expression that this is something serious and real and something that you should take in. They understand that you know, I have a love for humanity, and I will never, you know, discourage them from having relationships with people of other races and other cultures and other creeds. I believe strongly in that, but I also will not hide from them the fact that this nation has set itself up in a way that discriminates and marginalizes people of color simply because they are people of color, and that notion is something that they are going to find throughout the world, and I need them to know that at a very young age.
Right.
And so they understand that, they get it, and we had the conversations all the time. They favorite when we watch TV, when we eat TV and when we eating dinner and turn on the television, we watch Blackish, Bernie Mac show, Martin, or Good Time.
Okay.
Black.
That's good.
Super black. You understand what I'm saying? They know
Yes,
every
sir.
episode of Martin.
Right.
They know it. They know. This year they get introduced to a different world, and that's when you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we allow them to know, and I try to do it in a way where I don't take away their childhood, but I do enhance their childhood with some knowledge that some of the knowledge that my parents gave me at a young age.
Right. Yeah, and that's what we have to do.
If I can expound on that, the other night when I was with Jay, you know, my parents were both very, very progressive black folks, who didn't hide our blackness from us. You know, I used to be able to name every country on the continent, you know, by rote. And my mother assisted the Black Panther Party through sickle cell screenings because she worked for the hospital, and the Black Panther Party was having, you know, because they weren't screening people for sickle cell in regular hospitals, and we were getting marginalized there. So my mother did it in the Black Panther Party clinic and took us along with her.
Wow.
You know, so I'm 3 and 4 years old. I'm down the Panther clinic. Slim, hold up, dude. You know what I'm saying? Whole time, though. You know what I'm saying? Hold up, Slim. We down the Panther Party clinic, giving everybody shots and whatever. You know what I'm saying, Slim? And so, yeah, we was super DC.
Right.
Yeah.
I grew up in Sea Pleasant, so when I came back out to Sea Pleasant, I talked like Bird. But when I went down to the clinic, I was like, hold up, though, man. Y'all don't even be in the clinic, though. We at the clinic, though, Slim. Hold up, though. But then when I went back to Sea Pleasant, I pronounced my R's.
Right.
And used my proper grammar in English.
Right.
What high school you went to, Joe?
I graduated from Largo, but
Okay.
there's a story behind it. Everything you asked me, I got a story, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I started at Crossland. We was getting bused from Sea Pleasant to Temple Hill. And a lot of people ask, why was y'all getting bused so far? Because busing was a big issue in America. And since DC was the DC public school system was in that small area of the city, they decided to make sure that they put busing on big display in Prince George's County. So I got a bus all the way from Central Avenue, from Addison Road Metro Station, right? Y'all know, everybody know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way around the Beltway to Clinton, out to Temple Hills, so that we could be more indoctrinated with, our white counterparts. Well, hold up. Soon as we got out Clinton in Temple Hill, the Temple Hill thing was like, man, the fuck is y'all from?
Right.
Right.
Like, hold up. I was like, where the white kids at? When we got it, we like, well, where's the white children? I thought it was supposed to be like, nah, fuck that man, white.
We ran them out too.
Right.
The white kids big gone.
Right.
They left.
The white kids is big gone. Or the
Right.
ones that was left that was quiet. They didn't say.
Right.
They was quiet or they assimilated to us.
Right.
It started happening to us.
Right.
So they was more gangster than the brothers and sisters out there. I was like, damn, I want to go back to. Can I go to a school and see pleasant?
Right.
They know how to. They know how. Oh man, hold up. Oh, hold up. Oh, my bad.
It's all good.
They know how to see pleasant.
Right.
So I grabbed, but we moved when things started getting a little hectic and see pleasant. My mother moved us. She wanted me to have a good head. So guess what she moved us to?
Where?
Bright Sea, bro.
Oh Lord.
Well,
Your mother was hustling backwards.
maybe it was before it was what it was.
What's the rationale?
That was that I didn't know anybody down there,
Oh.
and I had a year and a half of high school left.
Okay.
So she was just gonna pray her way through that. I did the right things, and luckily it worked.
Yeah.
Luckily it worked, and I didn't get in any major trouble, and then took myself on to Morgan State University, straight off of Bright Sea Road.
Right. So I want to ask you real quick. One of the reasons that we do this show is just to bring people on here that we look up to and admire and just shower them with admiration and stuff like that. And so you one of those people, definitely. So we had, and I call myself a comedic connoisseur. Like I follow comedy really closely, and so we've had a number of comedians on the show, and one of them is a guy who makes no qualms about saying that he's your protege and a good friend of yours, Eddie Bryant. And we spoke to him. Yeah, and we spoke to him, and he had nothing but great stuff to say about you. Well, he does tell a story about how you guys first came in contact with each other. He said the first show that y'all did, he bombed really bad, and you joned his mother out. And I just wanted to know from you, did you really zone out his mom for bringing him to the show?
I didn't zone her out per se. I zoned her out for bringing him to the show.
Right.
So one thing you learn when you young as a comic, man, work your set out,
Right.
and make sure that you good before you start inviting people to the show.
Right.
Well, this was one of his first ever shows, and he had his whole squad in there, right? And then he stunk up the show. Right? When you bomb, we call it stinking up the show.
Okay.
Therefore, somebody's got to pay for the stink. And since your mother is right here, can I have a word with you, man? What are y'all doing at home? Remember in Menace to Society when Chauncey was sitting there talking to
Kane?
when he was talking to dude Fogg, Sharif Fogg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chauncey, Sharif, and his father at the cookout.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, man, we love Sharif, man, but what are y'all doing in the house, man? He only ever do a spare come, man. So when Eddie's mother was sitting, I was like, what are y'all doing in the house? And this Marvin Gaye linen suit and balding with her. And the best part of that story was the next time I saw Eddie Bryant on stage, he was a killer.
Yeah.
He was a stone monster on that microphone.
Yeah.
So, in a small way, I hope I pushed him to become the comic that he is today, because he one of the funniest motherfuckers I ever.
Definitely.
I mean, everything that comes out of his mouth be northeast funny.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't know. If y'all from the area, I don't know if y'all understand that.
Tommy Davidson.
It's on and on and on, right? Me being from here, being from Seat Pleasant, I understood, like, if I get into it with a Southeast dude, how hard he gonna go?
Right.
If I get into it with a Northeast dude, how hard he gonna go?
Right.
Uptown, different is, they all got their own thing. The reputation that each quadrant has is reflective in how they approach comedy. Right?
Right.
And me being a connoisseur like you know what I'm saying? I can tell who gonna do what. Eddie Bryant, man, come out his mouth with all of that Brentwood all day long.
Right.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Every time he open his mouth, shit be funny to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And he definitely makes it clear that you were one of the biggest influences on him too. He tells a story about his first time doing Comic View, when you stayed with him to help him kind of get his nerves together. Yeah, and that's just an amazing story, just to have the foresight as a comedian of your stature, to have the foresight and help this young dude. And he said he attributes the fact that he killed that show to you. And I don't know if he ever directly said thank you, but I wanted you to know that he said that he attributes that to you, all to you.
I was with him one time and he started telling the story and it messed me up because I didn't realize that that's what I had done. I just knew that here's a brother who's coming out to LA to tape a show, and the Hollywood system, the LA system, in that LA system, the talent is always the lowest thing on the totem pole. Okay. Like, the whole car runs because of the talent, but they treat the talent like it's not shit. It's throwaway. We can find there's a million of you. Right. So I knew that since he did have that Northeast attitude, it could go one or two ways. Either he could be disheartened real quick, or he could fuck somebody up out there. I didn't want to see either one of those happen. So to me, what was really simple, the simple solution was go support my brother. If I keep it 150 with y'all, I had some good Cali weed. I had money for food. I had a crib we could go to that wasn't too far from where he was shooting or whatever. And let me go hold my man down right quick. That was real. It was real simple. It wasn't for me. It wasn't it wasn't even an act of let me make sure I'm doing the right thing. Right. Let me just look out for Slim Man because I don't want to see him fuck nobody up, and I don't want him to be just talking about it. Right. Listen, LA will make you want to beat the living dog shit out of anybody. Right. Yeah. My wife, who is from Baltimore, moved to LA with me, and after 2 years, she was like, "We can't stay here no more. We gotta go."
I lasted about 2 years out that joint too.
Right, because somebody told me after I left LA, I had left LA with my wife to start a family, and chase that part of the dream down, right? I'm always going to be a comedian, and I'm always going to be, a journalist or whatever you want to call it, right? But the chance to be a father and the chance to be a husband was one that I felt was bigger than, the opportunities they was throwing my way in Los Angeles. So me and that lady left. We got the fuck up out of there. After I left, listen, Patrice, after I left, I went back out there maybe a year after I had gone. I went back out there to work on a project. And a guy who I hadn't seen in a decade pulled me up and let me know that one of the reasons I hadn't gone farther in Los Angeles was because of the fact that not only was I not playing the game, they knew not to even talk to me about trying to play the game. They just knew off the break that I don't go for that bullshit, so don't even try me. Right. And what that involves is, if you're not the number one prospect, and big agency didn't bring you out to LA, that means you gotta try to work your way through the system. But working your way through the system, you know, they talking about the casting couch, possibly. Or they talking about ways to get their hooks in you, possibly. There's people who click up with big old stars who get passed around from click to click, so that they can use you for what they need to use you for. Everything from being a flunky on up through the sexual favors for the star. Right. I was like, fuck no. Hell no. Man, nah. I catch a case out here. Right. When the woman said we leaving, I thought hard about it. My heart was broken because I had spent so much time in Los Angeles trying to do what everybody goes to LA for, goes to Hollywood for. Let me say, because there's a difference between Hollywood and LA.
Absolutely.
But the opportunity to become a dad and become a husband and take that journey, shit. I was like, well, let's go. Once I got rid of my little feelings for not being able to chase that one, I was like, well, let's go. And luckily, I've never had to look back. I've never had to second guess that decision. And as I'm sitting here now talking to y'all from Bowie, from Bowie, you know what I'm saying? Still making the other part of the dream pop off. I have an incredible family that I'm extremely proud of. I'm proud of what me and this woman have been able to do together. You know, in the legacy of black families, I'm super proud. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna try to hold her up every day as an example. And she holds me down.
You're making me smile, Joe.
Yes, I love it. We always talk about black families on here and the importance of just the structure and the, you know, just the man in the home and the importance of the family and the power that we embody. So that's just really inspiring.
Good to hear, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, the man in the house, but hold up, this lady I'm married to is a monster.
Be more. She be more.
You understand what I'm saying? He make me get my shit together.
Right. That's what a good woman to do.
Yeah, I just wrote this lyric in this song, man. I'm paraphrasing, but it was like dealing with certain queens, like they make you level up, whether it's their intention or not. It's just something about them that make you reevaluate your shit and be like, nah, I gotta level up just to be a support to her. You know what I'm saying? Whether they asking you to do it or not, it's just something about certain black women that make black men be like, hold up, let me get my shit on point.
Well, I didn't do it, you know, to level up to her level. I did it so she can't talk shit to me.
So wait, feminine energy coming in.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, man.
So what is so can y'all talk about what that
get to me? On Friday, I need Friday night to go like it's supposed to.
Right.
And if I'm a punk ass nigga, it ain't gonna go right.
What you had to say, Patrice?
What can y'all talk about that thing that makes men want to level up, or that the queen, is it something that she exudes as just in who she is, or is it something in particular that makes the brothers want to level up? Like
it's the booty.
What does that mean?
No, I'm just playing.
I'm
just playing.
Fear.
What?
I said for Joe, it seems to be fear.
Is it a toe, Joe?
Well, it's that fear that she might overtake the whole throne. You know what I'm saying? Question, Patrice. And for a lot of sisters, this might be hard to hear, but how you were raised shows before you open your mouth, before you do anything. Your body language, your presence, it shows how you were raised shows before any of that stuff.
Right.
So just in how she was raised was the thing I could see. got my attention.
Mhm.
And when we stopped, Patrice, the first conversation she and I had, let me know that this was my wife.
Talk about it. I want to hear.
I mean, like, we went on one date, and then that was my last day as a single man.
Wow. Yeah.
That was it. We dated. We was bi-coastal at the time, so we dated for a year back and forth. But then she came to live with me in California.
Okay.
So I was on my king shit.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because a black woman won't move around the corner for your funky ass.
Right.
He moved clear across the country. At the time, she was living in Mitchellville, in the Mitchellville Towers. She moved from there all the way to Studio City, California.
Wow.
I was putting mine down, and she was putting hers down, and we figured that we had something that we could build a legacy on.
Right. Yeah.
Making me smile again, Joe.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't realize about relationships. Like it's that building, like you said, building a legacy, building wealth, building family, like coming to the table and bringing even that initiative to be able to do that. That's awesome. I'm inspired.
That's how it is, Patrice. And my mom and my dad have been separated since the time I was 4 years old.
Mhm.
So I don't really remember a man in the house. And so we did it right this time. Me and my dad would have extensive conversations about me getting it right. Before he passed, he let me know that he was proud of me being a husband and a father in the way that I am.
Awesome.
But don't get it twisted, Patrice. It do be funky around here sometimes. Don't let that shit slide.
But that's par for the course. So my parents were together 43 years, and it was funky in there sometimes. My mother was that queen. She had a tough fist, and my father was an entrepreneur. So similar to kind of somewhat your journey. And my mother would put her foot down. It was some frying pans flying.
Luckily, I ain't done nothing to throw no flying pans.
No, that's that southeast part. See, we live in southeast.
Y'all remember how Daffy Duck drank that nitroglycerin? I don't need no frying pan upside the head.
Right.
That was over in southeast though. That's all.
Don't blame Southeast, man. I'm in Southeast too. But you can't blame the area.
They hate. So all three of us from Southeast. So they hate when I call out Southeast. This is what I say.
Anyway. But yeah, man. But yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nothing. Just one of the things that I wanted to say about that is that she also is quite understanding, and I like to think that our relationship, because we've grown together, has quelled some of that let's fight and turned a lot of that into let's figure out how we get along. Because we have, our fights are the amount of time we spend fighting is minimal. Let me say it that way.
Right.
And I don't even want to say fighting. The amount of times we spend in disagreement with each other, is minimal. And I'm sure I know she's made me grow, and I hope that I've made her grow as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's all you
Thank
can
you
really
for that.
ask
I'm
for.
so inspired as a black woman. I'm inspired. Thank you.
Yeah. And as black men, I'm inspired too.
Yeah.
You and Jay part of the big gang. Me and Dave got to catch up.
Well, I shaved mine
Dave
today,
gotta
so
catch up.
I shaved mine. But so I wanted to talk to you. You talked a little bit about about Eddie Bryant's first time and him bombing. And so as a comedian, can I ask you, because I've talked to a couple of comedians and they have different perspectives on that part of the process. Patrice is doing karate. Are you okay over there? But
Hey, look, I'm sorry. I was looking for the bees. I'm out Richmond, so
Oh,
we got
okay.
different bugs out here.
but as for that part of the process, like because I've heard some people say that they've never bombed. Like I talked to Tony Woods, and he said he never bombed. And some people say it's a very important part of that process. Um, like, do you remember like the worst time you bombed and what you learned from it, or you know?
Let's hear it, Joe.
Do I? Bombing, let me say this. Bombing is worse than your girl breaking up with you. Bombing felt worse than being at my daddy's funeral.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bombing is wait. It takes the soul out and puts it in front of, like, you can see your soul standing right there. Like, nigga, my soul is over there. Can I have it back? Like, nah, you can. Bombing is bad. My worst one, and the last one I ever had was in front of 5,000 people.
Wow.
At the Universal Amphitheater in Los Angeles. Y'all know how they got Universal Studios?
Yeah.
There's an amphitheater in there where they have shows.
I went to a show when I was out there. It was, matter of fact, it was Outkast and like Lauryn Hill. It was a bomb ass show out there.
So I was in that arena, Jason.
Yeah, that's a real arena.
And listen, unlike rappers or singers or people that's in plays, there's no one on the stage but you. It's just
That's
there
you.
is no beat. There is no DJ with the records. None of that. It's you and the mic. And I sat there and them Compton niggas and dudes from Watts let me have it. Listen, I got dressed up. I went and bought me a suit from Georgetown. Right? I thought I was doing it. Right? A new black suit from Georgetown. Shirt. And look, Jay, I went and got me a diamond stud. I worked on everything except for the jokes. And here's the thing, Patrice. The boo, when you up on a stage like that, the boo comes to you from miles away in the dark. It's like God telling you, time to get on the stage. And it comes out, because all I heard in the middle of my joke was, the fuck out the And what that is, that's like the kindling wood.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when you light a fireplace, you got like the kindling wood first.
Right.
Everything you got. Well, that one was the spark, the little kindling wood.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to go on with my jokes, right? And then I ignored it.
Right.
And tried to go. And this is when it's really bad, Patrice. When a woman goes,
because we sing our words when we mean them. When we passionate, we start singing our words, and that.
Oh Lord.
at that point, all I could think was, nigga, why do you have this fucking suit on?
But wait, did you think about the earring though? What about the earring?
I look like a king of comedy for a nigga. This dumbass suit.
And
I
the,
had still the tag.
and the earring and shit.
And like, I half the crowd was with me, but that's not enough to
Right.
make it work.
The Compton niggas wasn't with you.
Oh, not at all. And once the girl went boom, and everybody started in front of everybody.
Right.
Everybody.
Bill Bellamy was the host, right? And me and
Okay.
Bill Bellamy showed me out so bad. After that shit was over, he's standing on the stage. I'm like, Joe, that looked like it hurt. Did it hurt? You all right? Nah, stay over there. Don't come back out here. It was bad. But even worse than that, and I'm telling everybody, even worse than that is when you go to the after party after the show and you got me. Oh,
Wow.
no. Oh, God. It was the worst. It was the worst. People don't want to make eye contact with you.
They laughing at you.
Yeah, they laughing at you. And they're like, hold up, though. I thought, I think, first of all, I just thought you hosted Rap City. I didn't know you was like a comedian. So luckily, you still got Rap City, but you should stick to that. You should
Safety net.
He's just trying to do jokes no more.
Right.
He's just trying to.
So can I ask a question?
So yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So what would be your suggestion to? So I'm an entrepreneur, and so I try to tap into people that are listening that might have a dream or a goal or a vision, and they reach that point where they want to give up, or not that you said that you did, but you get to that point where it's like, well, damn, I thought I was da 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 da. So what suggestion or what advice do you have to that person that gets to that point that says, you know what, well, damn, I'm at my lowest moment. How do I get back up here? Like, how do I keep pushing?
Here's what I say. If you are ready to compromise with your dream, then go ahead and go do something else. But you're not ready to have a compromise with your dream. If this is the shit that's set in stone, but then you got to keep going. You ain't got no choice. Because you're not gonna sleep well. It'll start fucking with your stress, and you'll have gastrointestinal issues and all kinds of shit. If you hit that low point and you are not ready to walk away, and you walk away, it's gonna haunt you forever.
Yes. Right.
Now, there are people who do need to go ahead and change direction.
Right.
There will be times that you'll have to do that. Me, I changed direction a bunch of times, but I never gave up. I knew who I was a long time ago. So even though I got booed in front of 5,000 people, the moral of that story, Patrice, is I came back 18 months later and killed that same arena on the Next time I went back in there, I beat the shit out that room. I got on Timberland boots.
Right.
I had on a full DDTP sweatsuit.
Hey, the gray one, right?
Yeah, the all gray.
You posted a picture of that joint.
You understand?
Yeah.
With a madness bucket and
Man, oh my God.
Timberland boots.
That's a great throwback right there.
And so what I will say is, when you step out there, when you take that leap to go ahead and be your own boss, to be the entrepreneur, to not fall under anyone else's jurisdiction in your life and in your career, then you're gonna have to accept that this shit gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's like companies go through slow times. Companies go through times where they don't meet their quota for 2 and 3 quarters in a row.
Right.
But Walmart don't stop being Walmart.
Right.
Walmart and pivot and keep going until they can't be in the game no more.
So can I tell you, speaking directly to me right now, and I won't take up too much time, but you don't remember, but we had a 45-minute conversation about your fitness journey at the opening of a domestic violence housing complex for women over by on Southern Avenue. It was with Tati and a bunch of other people, but we talked. But anyway, you remember? You don't remember?
I'm starting to.
Yeah, you was telling me you had just started. I think you had started juicing or something. You were doing your fitness journey, and you was talking about your workout. So I'm a trainer, and so I've been doing this 11 years, and now in this space of everything that's going on, it's challenging because I'm having to shift the trajectory of business and recreate. And so it's challenging while it is who I am. Like, I don't want to do anything else. It is challenging. So you literally were just speaking to me. So thanks for that.
But you are too welcome, Patrice. I'll let you know that right now I have a Peloton bike over there that
Yes! Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, except for how do I put this?
You ain't been on it?
No, I've been on it.
Oh.
The problem I've been on it too much, and I got the strongest nut sack on it. I never knew that my scrotum could get calloused. That hurt, Patrice. But I'll be on it. I figure if the slaves could march the freedom through the swamps, the least I could do is get my scrotum on this Peloton bike.
Well, good job, I guess.
And every time they say, y'all ready to stand up and pedal hard? Yes. Yes. Please stand up.
Oh, man.
That thing hurt, Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing hurt.
Yeah, I hear it's really good, though.
Hey, so
especially if you got the pain to go with it.
yeah.
Well, I don't have that type of pain to go with it.
Right.
But I'm glad you're working all your muscle groups.
Yeah, muscle groups I didn't even know I had. Right now, my scrotum can go in there and grab a 5-pound kettlebell.
And swing.
I'm the only man on the East Coast that can actually do carrots.
Oh, my God.
You hear me? My vaginal walls are strong as shit. If I had to deliver a baby today, that baby gonna come out strong as shit.
You are funny shit.
But Joe, I want to ask you, and we ain't gonna hold you too much longer. I know you're a busy man, but I want to talk a little bit.
I'm doing Morgan State's back to school thing today. All the kids who are registered and starting summer school start today, and so I have to do a welcome back thing for them at 1:00.
Okay. So we'll keep you a little while longer. That's good because I wanted to talk a little bit about your journey. Like Patrice said, it's a lot of people who are trying to make that journey, trying to become successful, especially in the entertainment industry. And like I said, it's a lot of people in the entertainment industry who come and go a lot, but you've had a lasting fame. You've had longevity in this business. Like, is there any specific thing you attribute your longevity to, or is it just staying in there, or what is it?
Keep working, man. Look, I saw when I was starting out, one of the quotes I always used was Anita Baker. Anita Baker said, anytime they give you a chance to get on the mic and sing. I don't care if it's $2 or $200 or $2,000 or $200,000. Get on that jump and do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
I personally was like, well, listen, this may not be the dream job. This might not be, the end all be all. However, you get a chance to work doing something you love, you better take that gig. So I always, in that vein, I'm always going to work. That's number one. Number two is I studied the craft, not just from a standpoint of how to be a funny person, but also how to be in business with this. Like, this is Patrice and everybody else listening. This is a business. It's 10% show, 90% business. '90s. You know, we come from hustle culture. I come from shit. You gotta get it, man.
Yeah.
Because you ain't getting it, you look crazy as a motherfucker.
Right.
Crazy as hell. Why you give up?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like people will not support you, and as soon as you quit, they be like, well, "Why you give up?"
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't like to give them that flesh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to give them that because then at night it'll be living in my head.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So in order to prevent that, I stay on hustle, I stay on grind. And you know, this journey has taken me places where, you know, people were allowed to take advantage of the fact that I was going to take the job, even though it wasn't the dream job. However, I took one to get to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, here I am, Joe Clair morning show in Washington, D.C., on a station that I grew up listening to.
Mm-hmm.
I live down the street from where I grew up. I still get to do comedy in a big way. I get to see all of my Hollywood peers and counterparts at some point during the year, and I'm still getting considered for roles in movies and television and everything else. Right here from around the way. So,
Right.
you know, for me, I made it. I don't have an agent, I don't have a manager, I don't got none of that shit. And
And
those of you listening, you have to come to grips with the game that you really got into. Don't just listen to the success stories. Listen to the stories of the motherfuckers who failed too.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll give you insight to your journey to let you know it ain't always gonna be pretty. It's gonna be funky ass days. When I left with that lady and moved to Georgia, moved to Atlanta, you know, there was, you know, times that I would have to drive, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours to pick up a stack and a half, 2 stacks. You know, that was all that there was. Did I complain about them 2 stacks? Fuck no, I was happy to have them.
Right.
Especially since my mortgage wasn't number $1,300.
In Atlanta, yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
You know, and so I did that, and then, you know, things transpired. God kept his finger on me and kept me moving forward. And I didn't complain. I always, you know, gave thanks for what he sent my way. And here I am. So for any entrepreneurs, remember that part.
Right.
That part is. And let me add this as well. Y'all know how many hungry ass stars there are in LA?
Yeah, I learned that just from living out there. I was like, oh, okay, nigga, you live around here? Like,
right.
I just saw you on TV last night, but you live around here though?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So remember that, you know, it's not all that it seems, but it will be all that you make it.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Now hold on, Dave. I know you got like a whole list of questions and shit.
Yeah.
We running on time, and I definitely wanted to.
And I ain't read the script yet for this next show.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just know one of the reasons I wanted you back on here today, Joe, is because there was a certain frequency that was happening during the open mic that I was getting texts and calls throughout the show that I couldn't really answer because we was in the middle of the show. But a lot of people were inspired about you and your relationship with your father and your mother and their grind and their hustle and how their grind and their hustle has trickled down to you. And so in the theme of like how we started the show in regards to like what's going on around the world and what people can do, because there's a lot of trigger words popping off like revolution, liberation, and freedom and all of these things, right? But I've always had this theory, right? Because there seems to be a step-by-step process to our liberation. First, you have to enlighten yourself. Then once you enlighten yourself, you can extend that to your families. And once you extend that to your family, you go out into your community. And then after you go out into your community, you can start nation building. And then after you start nation building, you can make a global presence, right? And so one of the things that I feel hinder us collectively is that we skip the part from self-realization. We'll go from self-realization or enlightenment to community work, because that home and family dynamic is so dysfunctional. It seems too difficult to organize and mobilize your family. And so most people that I know, even major figures in the movement, as far as like, names that come up like Malcolm and Martin and Garvey, like all of these people that we admire for their work in the community and nation building, see, that family element seems to be the least organized and least mobilized element in our struggle towards liberation, or living as sovereign people in a nation somewhere with a flag and rules and regulations of how we should conduct ourselves. So all that to say, I was personally inspired by your story with your mom and dad in particular, that I talked to my mom and dad for hours on the phone after you performed. And just to learn their story and what they endured, and like how some of their stuff got instilled into me, and how I'm instilling some of those things into my children, I think is an important galvanizing glue in our families. That I think families should move more like corporations. Like everybody in your family should be on some type of unified page. You ain't got to think the same and do the same shit. But I think having that understanding of each member in your family, and kind of like, I guess, pushing towards a family type of structure, like a business, is important to the steps of before we go out into the community and protest and riot. I think we got to get our families and homes organized and mobilized. And I just like to give you your props for sharing your story, which allowed me to elaborate more on that theory that I had already had. So just your thoughts on that idea moving forward, and if that makes any type of sense to you.
It makes great sense to me, and you are right on point. My parents made sure that the foundation that they were setting was one that was going to last and be a legacy. My dad is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the deep South, and my mother's from Kansas City, Kansas. She's from the Midwest. For those who don't know, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, Kansas was a free state. Kansas never had, slaves. However, there was always discrimination and those types of things. So the understanding that the two of them had at the time that they came together played out in a way that made them extremely progressive. They were like, that okie doke, same old thing is not going to work for us any longer. And the way it's going to manifest itself is within these four walls, within this house, within this household. So my parents made sure that I understood, especially my dad, he made sure that I understood that there were other options open to me for being a black man, and how I could express that out here in the world. I didn't have to follow anybody. I didn't have to validate myself by being part of any group. I didn't have to I was already validated because I was part of one of the best groups ever. I was part of the Clair family. And that group right there was bigger than anything outside the door. Well, I think that I let you know, Jason, that my grandfather's name was Joe Clair. My father's name is Joe Clair. I'm Clair, and my son is Joe Clair. And I don't play with it, because by the time I was 2 or 3, I understood and believed with everything in my heart that Joe Clair's was a special group. saying, oh, I'm Joe Clair and so on and so forth. Nah, you gotta earn the right to stick your chest out.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm going out here saying that this is my woman, you know, I gotta hold this woman down before I can stick my chest out. And he instilled that in me. Meanwhile, my mother, who was progressive as she could be, you know what I'm saying, who was a poet. If you guys Google Maxine Clair, you know, she's a literary stalwart here in the DMV.
Stalwart. Morgan State.
Yeah, come on, man. She taught creative writing. I
That's
know
right.
every word. And I used them just like every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? She gave me an understanding that was bigger too. She made me understand outside of the box that I was in. And so, like I told the story of moving from Sea Pleasant to Bright Sea Road, she hoped and prayed, but she also knew that she had given me enough wherewithal to not fuck my shit up.
Mm-hmm.
When you go out here, don't blow it, son. Don't ruin your chance. Keep your eye on the prize, son. I can't be with you. I've got to go to work. You got to do this on your own, son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got myself into college. I had to fill out all them forms myself. I had to mail off them letters myself. I had to take care of the acceptance and apply for scholarships myself. She made me do.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, you want to go to college? Well, this is your job. This is your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I was 17 years old. But she was like, if this is what you want, then work for it. I'll help you along the way. But I can't do it for you. Remember Ray Mother in the movie Ray?
Yeah.
When he kept falling and fucking his toe. I was like, the little boy hurt his toe. You ain't gonna come help the little boy. But she was like, nah, you got to learn for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how my mother was, and that's how my father was. And we are very close. I'm in contact with my mother, like, you know, every day, every other day. She moved from Bright Sea Road up to Massachusetts Avenue, Massachusetts and Wisconsin.
Oh, fancy.
Above Georgetown.
Right.
Oh,
Nice.
getting her stalwart on.
Being a pillar.
Right.
You understand what I mean? And then when my dad passed, he was living down on 7th Street in Southwest. And that's right there by the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we just kept thinking upward mobility, keep going higher and higher and higher. And if you can do it and keep your sense of community and your sense of self intact the whole time, then you really win it. That's that wealth. That's that real wealth right there.
Yeah. That's beyond money.
I hate to do this.
I know you got to roll, man. I just want to, because I know Dave got like 30 questions, but
It's cool.
But Joe, I really want to extend, man, my sincere gratitude, man, because I personally know you and know how busy you are and know how fucking absent-minded you are. So you keeping fucking schedules going. You've been on time and shit. Hey, man, so this is heartfelt, man. Really appreciate it. I know. So for this nigga to be on point, 2 separate occasions, like, you know, I feel honored and privileged that you would take the time. Hopefully you understand that the connection is real, and I'm not going to call you into something that I didn't think was worth it and worthwhile and beneficial, not just to us, but for the people that are in this network. So I'm extremely grateful and extremely appreciative, and I know you on limited time, so I extend that love from the rest of the Neighborish cast, Super Dave and Patrice Fruitfit Jones. You know, we definitely are honored to have you here, man. And we still gonna get this done too, Joe.
For sure.
Yeah.
I thank you. We got music to make, Jay.
Yeah.
And if y'all can, on my IG Live on Thursday nights, it's all real estate and wealth. It's all real estate and wealth, all real estate and wealth on Thursday nights. Live at 7 o'clock.
Okay, bro.
That's a bet.
Real quick. My phone died, but I just wanted to thank you for your insight about entrepreneurs not giving up. It's really powerful. I'd appreciate it.
And yeah, when we When we get back in the studio, you got to come through so we can talk about new music for old niggas. Cause yeah, that joint is official. Yeah, he got the shirt on.
Yeah, I got it on today.
Hey, like Jay.
Let's let Joe get out of here.
Yeah, like Jay said, thank you so much for coming through, man. On behalf of all of us, we want to thank you.
She
froze.
Let's cut Joe off. Cut Joe off. He's cutting up. All live. She frozen.
She faking because she don't want to answer the question.
Yeah, her screen frozen.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Joe.
All right, Joe. Appreciate you, brother.
You.
All right.
So yeah, Patrice had to go too. I guess she was froze. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. We had some technical difficulties, but we made it happen. This has been another episode of Neighborish. On behalf of Patrice, who's gone, myself, Jason, who's right here, thank y'all for checking us out. Jay, I want to thank you for making this whole thing happen, man. I couldn't have did it without you. We couldn't have did it without you. And yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. But I mean, we worked through it though.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Bro. So, all right, man. Peace, everybody.